Good evening, everyone. This is Yolanda Niels, founder of the Red Panty Society, welcoming you all for joining us this evening in our Let's Talk Red session. This is our first night, our first broadcast in Let's Talk Red, and Red stands for Receiving Empowerment Divinely. And what we mean by that is we're in a world that's full of great opportunities to get messaging that is empowering enough to take us to the next level in our desires in our life. And so with the Let's Talk Red sessions, we will have amazing practitioners that we like to refer to as our Red advisors will come to speak with us each Sunday evening at 7 p.m. to share some amazing insight on different ways that we can heal and grow and evolve together. Tonight's featured guest, or Red Advisor, is the amazing Dr. Daemon Jones, who we like to refer to as Dr. Day. And Dr. Day is going to share with us some fun, healthy tips and around everything from weight loss, metabolism, diabetes, just fun living, just a way to enjoy life in a holistic manner regarding those issues and even outside of those issues. So if you will, now I'm going to introduce to you Dr. Daemon Jones.
Hi. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first session. And today we're going to just kind of talk a little bit, I'm going to talk a little bit about who I am and why I'm here to help you. Our topic for today is about having fun. So we're going to actually look at how it's really important, particularly when you're stressed or you're overwhelmed, you're not sleeping well, you're fatigued and tired, that you actually need to make fun part of your prescription. And so today, that's what we're going to talk about. So let me start by giving a little information about myself and who I am and how I'm here to talk to you as an advisor. My name is Dr. Daemon Jones, but everybody calls me Dr. Day, and I am a naturopathic doctor. And a naturopathic doctor is someone who's gone to a medical program, but a very specific type of medical program, where we not only learn conventional treatments that include medications and different types of physical, like doing your annual physicals, doing your gynecological exams, all of that, but we also get an education in how to look at counseling, diet, nutritional supplements, physical medicine, interactions between herbs and pharmaceuticals, so that when you come to a naturopathic doctor like myself, then you're actually going to get a holistic approach that looks at not just your body, but your mind and your spirit, and how all those things have to work together to create health. And so as a result, I'm here to talk to you about how to make fun part of your healing solution. So this is my first hangout, and so I feel a little bit nervous. I was a little bit stressed about coming to make sure that this is going to be the best opportunity for you. And the way that I start to relieve that stress and that pressure is to think about how I can make this fun and interactive. And one of the ways that we can do that is to have you ask questions of me as I give you a little bit of background about the physiology, like how your body actually works and reacts to stress, and how that we can look at fun as a way of reducing our stress and anxiety. So feel free to join by asking questions. Just know that anytime that you feel stressed, there's always an opportunity to figure out how to make it fun. So for me, to make it fun, I did preparation, but in addition, I decided to wear one of my favorite colors, so I'm wearing pink, and I'm wearing something bright and kind of fun, right, to remind me to have fun during this process and to make it a really exciting and encouraging experience. And that's an idea for you that when you're going through issues that are making you feel a little bit anxious, maybe you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, those are signs of stress, but they're also signs that you need to actually find time in your schedule to have some fun. So, without any more conversation about who I am, right, let's jump into the really important information about how you can use stress and you can reduce stress by adding fun into your life. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, what is stress? Now, stress actually was not used as a term relating to the physical body until the 1950s. It used to be actually considered part of a structural environment when they were talking about like architecture, for example. But the idea of stress, if we want to look at it and look at what it means, then stress is really our response, our body's response, our emotional response, our mental response, our physical response to some type of environmental experience. And so when we talk about having stress or being stressed, we actually can have good stress or we can have bad stress. And often we talk about stress, we're talking about having some type of negative reaction that makes us feel tired or drained or overwhelmed. We might feel frozen, like we're not able to figure out how to manage or handle a situation. We might have difficulty sleeping at night. These are all different symptoms that show up when we feel stressed. You might experience one or many. And so that's a signal for you that you need to actually look at what you're doing and make some changes. And those changes can be small or they can be big, and they definitely can be fun. Okay, now we've defined what stress is. If you have questions about what stress is, you can go to my website, which is healthydays.com. It's healthy, D-A-E-S, healthydays.com. And you can actually just type in the box stress. You'll see that I have lots of articles related to stress. And you'll also notice a little bit later in the broadcast, I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the articles that I've written about fun and laughter and how those can be healing modalities as well. So there are lots of resources that I have for you that I can share with you. Okay, so we talked about what stress is, right? Examples of things that may cause you stress in your life. So perhaps you have a very, very busy schedule. I mean, I might not be the only person who actually has something to do every day of the week, right? And so when you have a schedule that's very full, you might actually feel like it's a little too full, and then that can make you feel stress. So one of the things that I recommend, the first thing that I recommend, is that you look at your schedule and you start to see, when you look at the schedule, how does it make you feel? When you look at all the things that you need to do in the day or in a week's time, does that make you feel good? Or does that make you feel a little bit overwhelmed? Because the thing about stress, and it's very important, is that it's not just what we think about, it actually shows up as a physical response in our body. So when we feel stress, oftentimes we feel either very tight in our shoulders, in the back of our neck. We might look at our schedule and just feel overwhelmed by our schedule, or sad about our schedule, frustrated with our schedule. And all of those things cause us to release stress hormones that get released into our body that actually continue to facilitate this idea of not feeling good, but literally feeling like we're giving our energy away and that we're not keeping it for ourselves. When we want to talk about fun, let's just take a moment and think about what that word means and what that definition means. Take a minute, perhaps you close your eyes, and begin to take a deep breath in and let it out. And begin to think of a time when you were having fun. It could be something that you did this weekend, over a holiday weekend. Perhaps it is something that you did when you were a child. But just take a minute or two and just in your mind, think of a time when you are having fun. And begin to think about all the emotions that you were feeling when you were having fun. Were you happy? Maybe you were excited. Perhaps you were laughing. What were you doing when you were having fun? Were you playing with friends? Were you listening to music? Perhaps you were watching your child or your niece and your nephew, playing and having a good time, and watching them have fun made you have fun. It's summer. Maybe you were at the beach. Or maybe you were just taking a day off and taking a drive in the afternoon. Think about what you were doing that allowed you to have fun. How did it feel? Did you feel relaxed? Were you laughing? Did you feel giddy? Did you feel young? So when you think about having fun, how do you feel now? Maybe a little bit more relaxed. Maybe you have a smile on your face. Maybe you're just enjoying the memory of whatever that memory was. So when you have fun, you actually start to release those stress hormones from circulating in your body. You begin to calm them down. Another thing that happens when you're having fun is that your nervous system begins to relax. It doesn't fire as many signals. And it puts you from a stressed state into a relaxed state. So literally when you think about this experience that I've asked you to think about, you're actually probably noticing your shoulders are coming down, your face is kind of lighting up, you might feel a little bit lighter in your thoughts. These are all physical responses that happen when you give yourself the opportunity to have fun. So now I'd like you to, if you were relaxing and breathing and thinking about fun, I want you to come back to the conversation. And I want you to actually just realize how you're feeling and if you're feeling differently now than when I first asked you to think about your schedule for the day or for the week. And if you're feeling different, then you need to have more fun in your schedule. So how do we do that? Let's look at some different ways that we can have fun in our schedule, and we can actually use it as a healing modality, right? So how do we heal ourselves? A healing modality means how do we put it as part of our treatment plan, and how do we honor it as important? Well, one of the best ways that I have seen for people to add it into their schedule is to actually add it into your schedule. Make it one of the activities that is as important as all the other activities you do. Now, you might just add it in the schedule 10 or 15 minutes a day. You might say, well, I'd rather just have an afternoon or an evening or a morning that I have off. So you might give yourself 2 hours a week. You have to start thinking about what will work in your schedule and what will work in your life. And then you need to add it to your schedule, and you need to honor it that way. That means that you give it the same importance as you give your work. You give it the same importance as exercise or eating or taking care of your children or your significant other, your husband, your parents. You have to give yourself that same permission to have fun, just like you give yourself permission to take care of others as well. And by putting it in your schedule and creating an opportunity for you to actually have it as part of your routine on a consistent basis, you will notice that your level of stress begins to change. So the summertime is a great time to actually start this process. So if you have any questions about anything I've said so far, please feel free to begin to ask those questions as I begin to give you some other examples of how fun is a really important component of your stress-free life, right? That's what we're all going for. So I talked a little bit about what stress is and how it enters into our lives. The way that it enters into our lives can be that our schedules are really full. It could be that we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, either in our job or in our home life, or maybe a combination of the two. I do a lot of work with women, and they come into my office because they're dealing with lots of different types of issues. It might be you're trying to lose weight, you're not able to, and you can't figure out why. Well, you may not have thought about it, but having fun might be the reason why you're not losing weight. Because you're living in a stressed environment, your body is releasing those stress hormones that I talked about before, and that because you're not giving yourself a break to have fun and to let those stress hormones go, your body actually isn't able to shift into a place to help you lose weight. I have women that come into my office oftentimes because they're feeling overwhelmed. Maybe they're feeling so overwhelmed that they're having difficulties relaxing. When you have fun, you give yourself the opportunity to relax. And when you relax, then you begin to not feel so overwhelmed because you actually will be able to think differently about anything that's going on in your life. When you feel stressed, you release these hormones, and the hormones actually go to your brain to cause a hyper-vigilance or an over-alertness, and so that you're alert all the time and you're not able to relax. When you're in the middle of doing something that's fun, you actually forget to be stressed. And so it actually releases and ramps down those stress responses and those stress hormones. When you have fun, when in whatever you're doing, your nervous system actually relaxes. And it goes from a state of stress to a state of relaxation. So fun is important because it actually shifts you out of a state of dis-ease or disease into a state of ease or fun. So that's really important to understand that. Perhaps you're not sleeping well at night and you are just chalking it up to you're so busy. But really, it could be, again, you need to have some more fun to break that pattern and to cause that relaxation response in the nervous system and through your stress hormones.
I got a quick question for you, Dr. J.
Sure. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question. Can you repeat yourself, Yolanda?
Sure.
Yeah.
My question is headaches Are headaches a sign of stress?
That's a great question. So again, we were talking about different things that could cause stress, and absolutely, there are different types of headaches. The most common type of headache is called a tension headache. And the tension headache is a result of the muscles in your neck, in the back of your neck. Sometimes it's across the band right here. All of those areas, when you have a tension headache, your muscles are stressed like this. They're very tight and they're not relaxed. And when they're tight, that causes a headache. And then you don't feel good. So that's a symptom that can give you information about how to add more fun in your life. So then the response would be, I'm having symptoms, difficulty sleeping, I'm having headaches, I feel anxious all the time, I don't feel like I can relax or calm down. These are all examples of your body giving you information that you are feeling stressed. And it's not just an emotional stress, it's physical stress. When people are under physical stress and they have diabetes, their blood sugar goes up. If someone's overweight, they may eat more and their body actually will not be able to lose that weight at that moment in time. So that's another symptom of stress. I work a lot with patients that have high cholesterol or high blood pressure. Those can be symptoms of stress. So if you're having any of these issues or problems, hormonal imbalances are a great way to give you information about if you're stressed as well. If you're having very heavy periods or you're having irregular periods. If your menopausal symptoms are, your hot flashes are very significant and severe, if you have night sweats at night, if you have mood swings, these are all different examples of feeling stressed. And what I'd like to say is that stress is a medical condition. It's not a diagnosis, but it actually impacts whatever problems you're already having, it makes them worse. And so you have to look at stress as a problem that you need professional support and help to solve. And that's what, when I work with my patients, it is always an important part of our treatment plan. And the way that we do that is we look at foods that you might need to be eating. We look at exercises you might be doing. We look at breathing and breath work, meditation and prayer work. And then we also look at having fun. So back to where we started, if you're feeling stressed, how do you have fun? Now, fun can show up in lots of different ways. Fun can be taking a lunch and going, out to lunch instead of sitting at your desk all the time. Perhaps you go out with a coworker that you really like, or you have a friend meet you for lunch. It gives you a break where you can actually relax and have a good time. You might decide for fun that you want to do something like go for tea with a friend, or maybe you go for a drink after work and you get a group of your best girlfriends together and you spend time together. Just you plan it. And let me just make a note about this. This is something I work with my patients on all the time. You might decide to talk to your friends, and you might decide that you guys are going to do something together, and you can't find a date. And that date's a week away or 2 weeks away. It might even be a month away. It might be 2 months away. It may seem like it's such a long time to be able to get to that activity of having fun. I'm going to recommend that you make that date, even if it's a month or 2 away, because in this busy, busy society, that's come up so quickly, and you're going to be so grateful to yourself for making the decision to actually make that date. And then when you guys get together, you will be so happy that you spent time together. So when I say put it in your schedule, I mean put it in your schedule. Even if you have to set it farther out than you would like it, it will be a treat for you, a relaxation opportunity for you whenever you get the opportunity to do it. So that's an example of having fun and planning it into your schedule, right? It might be getting a manicure or a pedicure. It might be treating yourself to getting your hair done. You know, it might be walking, along a beautiful part of your neighborhood or a beautiful park. That might be fun for you. So there are lots of different things when you think of fun. Don't think of something that has to be very elaborate. It can be something simple. Maybe you go to the place that has your favorite appetizers and you order that for yourself. It might be
How
getting
about
your...
something like,
Go ahead.
how about mental activities like playing Sudoku or crossword puzzles?
So those are great examples.
How
Fun
about
is...
mental activities like playing Sudoku or doing crossword puzzles? Would they be considered like healthy ways to have fun as well?
Absolutely. Having fun playing games can be great. If you like to play games, then you can actually, there are apps that have games you can play. There are like the New York Times crossword puzzle that people get really excited about. It could be coloring. And I know people are like, coloring? But just because you're an adult, you might enjoy coloring or drawing or painting. These are activities that, can stimulate your creativity. They can stimulate your mind. They're fun because they take you out of what you normally do and put you in a different situation or a different environment. It could be going to the zoo or going to the aquarium. Now, that's one of my favorite activities. I have lots of fun when I get to do those. So you could do something like that. Fun could be if you have a television show that you really like to watch or a movie that you're really interested in. It could be taking time out to do that. One of the things that I really enjoy and that I think is really fun is I like to laugh. And there's an article that I actually have written on my website, which is healthydays.com. That's healthy, DAES.com. Like my name, Dr.
That's
Day.
pretty cool.
And laughter has been proven to actually improve our health and improve our ability to heal more quickly. So I go to YouTube and I might look for something funny to watch for 2 or 3 or 5 minutes. That can be fun. So fun is a word that can encompass so many different things. You just have to sit and write things that are fun for you. Make a list, for example, of 10 or 15 or 20 things that are fun for you to do. And then decide which of those things you can actually achieve in the next week. That would be an assignment that I give to you to start to think about having more fun. And then be very conscious about it, which means when you have fun, recognize that you're having fun. Don't cancel what you're doing because whatever is going on in life is getting in the way. You have to give yourself permission. And when you give yourself permission, then that is when you will really, truly have fun. So something else that we're talking about, we talk about this idea of stress.
That is really awesome information, Dr. Day. We totally are excited to have you.
Thanks.
I got a question, another question from the audience. I'm sorry for interrupting. I know there's like a delay between you and me, so I'm gonna do my best to navigate these questions. Someone wrote in, that they have bumps that look like mosquito bites, and
Okay.
wanted to know if that could be related to stress, because she says, I have them everywhere, but they don't act like mosquito bites. And I'm wondering if that's stress showing up on my body, and what fun things can I do to redirect my thoughts from being so stressful.
So I think that it's a great question, and I'm going to take it in two parts. So the first part is a very generic answer to answer, this idea of, can you have skin issues or problems that are stress induced or stress related? And so I'll take that general question first, and then I'll address the specifics of the individual as well. So looking at it generally, people can have stress responses, and those stress responses can show up as skin problems. Sometimes they can show up as hives on people's skin, which are kind of raised areas of the skin. Sometimes they can show up when people are very stressed. You might see bumps or acne, or other things that show up not only on the face, but they can show up on the neck or the back or in the chest region, most often. And so those can also be related to stress. And so when you start noticing those kinds of issues, then it's important to actually see someone, talk to someone who has a medical background, who can help you differentiate between whether it's something that is physical, something it's like a mosquito bite, something that's stress induced, and then once you have a better understanding, then you can move into the specifics of that. So I think that that's a great question and a great symptom that I did not talk about related to stress. For individual people, because I don't know what your history is, it's hard for me to specifically tell you, yes, this issue is related to stress, or no, it's mosquito bites. So whenever we're talking about skin issues and problems, I have patients come into the office. I see patients all over the country. They would have to send me pictures. And so there's more research that would need to be done to address whether it's a stress-related problem, whether it's the season where the people are having mosquito bites, or they may be having poison ivy or other types of skin or dermatological issues because of people tend to be outside more. So specifically, I would have to speak with the person directly and work with them to see what is going on and answer that specifically. But to address the third part of the question, which is what can you do about stress-related skin issues or problems, there are a couple of avenues I work with patients that have skin-related issues that may be related to stress, or may be related to, not directly related to stress, but because of some of the things that they're doing in their life because of stress, they're having skin issues and problems. So when patients come into my office and we're dealing with stress issues, we always look at food, like what kinds of foods are you eating, because food can actually be a stressor to us if we're skipping our meals, we're not eating whole foods. And whole foods are foods that come from the earth, right? That are pretty close to their natural state, that don't have preservatives, that don't have artificial flavorings and colorings to them. So when we're eating whole foods in our diet, we actually change our body chemistry. There's a lot of work and research that's been done on foods and how foods actually can create better health just through the types of foods that you're eating. And later in the summer, I'll be releasing my next book that actually has research that researchers have done about foods and how they can actually successfully treat lots of different types of conditions, including some skin conditions that we're talking about now. So food is always part of that plan. eating in a way that is enjoyable to you, that is relaxing, like not in front of the TV, not when you're working, because eating when you're doing that is not fun. But if you're eating with your friends and your family, if you're having great conversations, then that can be a lot of fun. If you like being outside, eating outside, giving yourself a picnic, for example, that could be a fun way to actually eat well and actually kind of relieve some of your stress. There's breathing exercises that you can do. Now, we all breathe every day. But let's say you like to go for walks, or you like to go swimming, or you like to dance. Maybe those things are fun for you. When you do any type of activity that gets your heart rate up, you start breathing more. So that's another thing that you can do that's fun, that releases stress, that also can help you get rid of stress-related skin issues and problems. And it not only helps you with breathing, it also helps you with exercise. So that's a good combination. Did you have another question, Yolanda? Okay. I thought Yolanda had a question. Talking about things to help with skin issues and problems. Another thing, and stress. Another thing that's really good.
You did an awesome job answering it a second ago. Another question that came in was, how can we incorporate mind, body, and emotional factors into our daily routines to create total health? And
Okay, so what I got is the next question is, how do I incorporate mind, body, and soul activities into our life in order to create a...
yeah, yes, you're right on target. How can we incorporate mind, body, and emotional factors into daily routines to create total health?
Okay. So I gave a couple of suggestions that would work. Another suggestion that I think is great, that also works with the previous question about skin, is bathing. If people like to take baths, then that's a really great way of giving yourself some relaxation time where you can slow your schedule down. You can give yourself some space to do some breathing and some relaxation. So physically, when your body is in a bathtub, when you have Epsom salts in the bathtub, I would put essential oils in the bathtub. You have a physical relaxation. You also have a mental relaxation that's happening at the same time. So here's a way that you can do mind and body at the same time, and you can give yourself some opportunities to really kind of create health by relaxing yourself, reducing your stress, giving yourself time to clearly think and receive answers to what you need to do the next day, or how do you handle a particular situation. And so that really creates an opportunity for you to really give yourself some fun and some relaxation, and also restore and replenish yourself. And that's really important as well. So when we're talking about this idea of releasing stress, that's what you can do. Again, for total body health, you have to consider, what are you eating? Because what you eat impacts your physical body, but it also impacts your emotional body. When people skip meals, for example, they're more likely to become more irritable, they have less patience with other people. You actually, when you lower your blood sugar, it causes stress because you didn't give yourself any food or fuel, and so that causes a stress response, which can increase your blood pressure. So people don't really think about how food And just having a regiment of eating appropriately and regularly during the day can actually give your body a total body um, relaxation. It can actually help reduce some health issues. What we drink. Are you drinking enough water? When people are dehydrated, there was a question earlier about headaches. Sometimes people have headaches just because they're not getting enough water. I'm not saying coffee. I'm not saying tea. I'm not saying Red Bull. I'm not saying sodas, but you actually need water to actually handle biological responses in your body. And so if you don't have enough of that, you can feel mildly dehydrated and you can have headaches or irritability. Your blood pressure can go up. So just by eating appropriately, getting enough water, getting enough sleep. I actually, in the next 2 weeks, will be doing a course on sleep. So it's 3 massive mistakes that women make that cause them to feel overwhelmed, overworked, and exhausted because of many sleepless nights. And I'm going to actually talk about how sleep is really instrumental into our whole health process. And so you can sign up for my newsletter on my website and get the information for that July 15th. It's a Tuesday evening. For that's a free workshop and seminar about sleep and how important sleep is. So we have eating appropriately. We have drinking appropriate water and getting enough of it in. We have getting enough sleep. That's really important. Looking at your relationships and making sure that you are in healthy relationships where you're having productive conversations with your family, with your people at work, with your people that groups and activities that you're doing. Are you in things that are helping to help you build esteem with yourself, help you feel good, help you have fun? So we talk about relationships. That's another part of this whole body, mind connection. So that's important. Do you have some type of spiritual connection, whether that's prayer or meditation, whether you go to a church or a synagogue or a temple, whatever that is for you? Everybody has different expressions of that. As long as you have an expression that works for you, that's also part of the health picture. It creates balance in your life, and then it helps to reduce diseases, issues, and problems. So this is all things that you want to think about when you're thinking about solutions to health problems. And if you don't know where to start, it's really important and appropriate to get the help that you need. Get to the coach. Like, I work with patients all the time in helping them set their health priorities, not just because I have a disease, but am I balanced in my work life and my home life? Am I eating appropriately? Am I getting enough sleep? And how do I come up with solutions for that? That is a very key component in what I do and how I help people get their health back and how they help keep their health. So think about those things, and if you need that help, don't be ashamed to ask for it. And you can feel free to go to my website and send me a question, or if you want to talk to me about how you can do this, I have 45-minute strategic sessions that I work on with people to help get them on the right track. So people come to me for consistent care. They come to me for strategic sessions on how to get on track with their health and their support in a mind-body kind of way. And it really helps to have someone to support and bounce your ideas off of, but someone who's an expert that can actually put you in the right direction. So I think that's also a very important part of the whole health system. I'm not ashamed to say that I go to a naturopathic doctor. And I go to a naturopathic doctor, even though I am a naturopathic doctor, because I need someone to help me. So that's important as well. So we have another question. The question is, I have been a vegetarian for several years, and what foods support the immune system? So Tien, I think, is how I pronounce your name. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thank you for joining our conversation and sharing your question. This is a great question, and actually a question I've done a lot of research on. My book that's coming out in the next couple of months is called Eat More Plants. So it is a perfect book for you because it's focused on vegetarian foods that have been shown through the research to actually support our body and our health through different things. So the general answer is whole foods are really important for the immune system and the immune response. So when I say whole foods, I'm talking about either proteins, carbohydrates, or fats, and those that are closest to nature. When we're talking about vegetarian or plant-based foods, the research shows again and again that plant-based diets, that doesn't mean for you, you're a vegetarian, and that means that, you know, everything that you're eating, or maybe a majority of what you're eating, is plant-based. And that's really the best way to look at an 80% or above plant-based diet. So when we're talking about plant-based, we're looking at vegetables of all kinds. We're looking at fruit of all kinds. We're looking at beans, nuts, and seeds, particularly for complex carbohydrates, for good fat, and for protein sources. And we're looking at whole grains. We want to make sure that you're drinking water, or if you're drinking juice, you want to drink 100% juices. You want to drink juices with pulp, right? Because that fiber is really important to the immune system, and it helps keep your immune system steadily working and supporting you. So plant-based foods are a great answer to what types of foods boost the immune system. You want to make sure foods have fiber in them. So all vegetables have fiber, all fruits have fiber, whole grains have fiber, nuts, seeds, beans, and legumes, all of those have fiber in them. And that is a really important building block for the immune system. Protein is also a huge building block for the immune system. So you want to look at proteins that are nuts and seeds. And quinoa is considered a grain, but it's also considered a seed. So it really actually is a seed, and so that's got a lot of protein associated with it. Beans and legumes are great ways to get in boost to the immune system. And the kind of last general category is you want to have colorful foods as part of a boosting of the immune system. When you have things that are yellow and orange, you have beta carotene, which is a precursor to vitamin A. Vitamin A helps repair cells and helps create new and healthy cells, so that's really important. When you're looking studies that are done on flavonoids. So flavonoids give us really beautiful colors like purples and blues and reds. Those are all part of the flavonoid family. Those have actually been shown to actually boost the immune system as well. So that also goes for beans, like black beans, for example. They have flavonoids in them. It gives them part of their dark color. So you want to kind of eat things like that, pinto beans, kidney beans, those kinds of things. So you want to look at colors of the rainbow. All of those colors of the rainbow boost the immune system as well. if you're having a specific issue with your immune system, whether it's an autoimmune problem, you're getting colds and flus more than you normally do, and you're already a vegetarian, usually you don't have the right balance of foods that you're eating consistently enough. You might need some nutritional support as well, because sometimes when you're a vegetarian, you don't get some of the nutrients that you need, and so you have to take them as a supplement. So it might be a great opportunity to do a 45-minute laser session with me to help you understand what specific things you might need to be bolstering if you are having specific problems with your immune system. But your question is a great general question that can help a lot of people. I hope that this helped you. And like I said, if you need more specifics, then I would suggest maybe coming to my website to see how I can help you more specifically. So I hope that helps you. Okay, so we have maybe just a few minutes left before we're going to wind up. So Yolanda, did you have
if you will,
something
Dr. Dave, give us your website information and your contact information again as we begin to wrap and bring to a close.
Okay.
And just know that you've done awesome job.
Thank you, Yolanda. I appreciate that. So to give you more information on
I was just saying you've done an awesome job. This has been a great conversation. I've learned some great tips myself in terms of just the daily things that I can do to keep fun and health in my life. And I hope the audience has been able to take some things away as well. Share with the audience one more time all of your website, your contact information, that kind of stuff.
Okay. So there are lots of ways that we can connect and that we can continue this conversation or other conversations. You can go to my website. My website is healthydays.com. Now it's spelled kind of interesting. It's healthy, HealthyDaes.com. Healthy Days, like my name, Dr. Day, Healthy Days. So please feel free to go to my website. Feel free to look at my blogs. I post every week. You can sign up for my weekly newsletter and you'll get more information on the classes I'm teaching, like the class I'm teaching on the 15th, which is 3 massive mistakes that women make that leave them overworked, overwhelmed, and exhausted from many sleepless nights. That's going to be a great seminar. It's free, and you just have to sign up for it, and that information will go out through my newsletter. If you are a Facebook person, and maybe you're seeing us on Facebook now, you can go, again, to Healthy Days, www.facebook.com / Healthy Days, and you can join my community. I post information and classes on there as well. If you're a Twitter and you're in the Twitter community, you can go to @DrDae, so that's @DRDAE, @DrDae, and you can ask me questions and continue this conversation if you'd like on Twitter. If you're a YouTube person, like I said, I like to go find funny snippets on YouTube to make me laugh and to give me some fun during the day when I'm concentrating on doing all the work or in between breaks with patients. You can go to my YouTube channel, which is YouTube / Healthy Days. Again, HealthyDaes, Healthy Days, and I have lots of information about stress, exercise. I have information on diabetes and obesity. So you have lots of ways to get information that is helpful and free for you to help you to actually integrate what we're talking about in terms of fun. So you can go there. So you have plenty of ways to reach me. So I think that is my website, my Facebook, my Twitter, LinkedIn. My name is Dr. Daemon Jones. So if you have LinkedIn capabilities and you want to know more about the kinds of things that I do, you can feel free to go to LinkedIn as well. So I enjoy social media, and I'm happy to work with you on that.
Well, thank you
So
so much, Dr. Day. You did great. This is exciting, and we look forward to hosting you every first Sunday here through Let's Talk Red. We welcome you as our new Red advisor, and we thank the audience for participating tonight in our first Let's Talk Red session. We look forward to seeing you back here next Sunday at 7 p.m. and every Sunday afterwards. Thank you, and have a great, fun evening. Yay!
Yolanda, are you going to tell them about you're going to be on Blog Talk? Is that correct? Tonight and tomorrow?